Welcome back to Babe's Art Class. Today we're going to be doing a painting on a muslin and pieced bag that I made. We're going to put hydrangeas on the bag. I took a piece of muslin square, and at the end of the video I'll tell you how I put the bag together. So we're going to start out with the fabric paint. It's called Fabric Creations, and I just got these all at Michael's. I have pink, blues, green, black, white, and purple to go with the colors in the bag. And when I do my hydrangeas, I start out with a dark center, and that creates the shadows that you need to paint your actual hydrangea into. So I'm going to start with some purple and black. I have a flat brush, a small brush. This happens to be a 4. And I'm just going to start to put this center in. Nothing fancy. We're just going to put a circle in there. I'm using purple with just a little bit of black. I also put some newspaper underneath inside the bag. Let me move this over. There we go. So it won't seep through. Then I'm going to start actually doing the petals. So the petals, I'm taking a little bit of a smaller brush. And this is probably a 2 flat brush. And I'm going to I'm actually going to make my purple because I like it better. I like it when I use this magenta with this bright turquoise blue. I think it makes a gorgeous purple. I don't know if you can see that color. It's a very pretty purple. And then we're going to take some of that on a brush and tip the brush with white. So you have white tipped on your brush. I'm going to go in and just dab. This is like canvas. It's not, it's a piece of cloth, but because I almost said you're going to dab the canvas, but you're going to dab at the muslin. Just haphazard back and forth. Keep the white tips on your paint brush. And go all around, leaving a little bit of that dark center shining through. And you don't want your edges to be too perfect. You don't want it to be a perfect circle. So we'll have some of our petals reaching out. Here and there. You can do that all around your hydrangea. So I'm starting out with this purpley color. And now I like to add some blue. So the same thing, we're going to put the blue on the brush and tip it with white. And we'll go back and we'll put some blue, maybe in one section of the piece of the flower. One section of the flower, we'll put some blue in. And another section of the flower, we're going to put a little bit of the pink in. And the reason we can get away with doing this is because that's how we made the purple to begin with. we made it with these two colors. And you keep putting it in. Now, I think this looks pretty good so far. You know, like I said, bring out some petals so it's not too perfectly circular. And what I'll do now is I'm going to go in with some white, just white, and we're going to highlight certain petals, not all over, but here and there to give us a lot of highlights. And you're just dabbing the paint on, short little strokes. I call it dabbing because I can't think of any better word, but you're just kind of pressing into it and lifting quickly. Kind of staccato motions. And you put in your highlights wherever you think it looks good. And when you're done with this, you can go back in, if you feel like it, and you can put in little yellow or little green centers to these little florets, just here and there. So there we have a purple hydrangea. And we're going to go ahead up here and put in a bud. So it'll be the same technique, the purple with the white tip. And we're just going to make a small circle. Just like before, not too samey, not too perfect. Okay, so we have a bud. Now I'm going to show you how to do some leaves. And for the leaves, I'm going to mix just a teeny tiny bit of that black into my green. It makes a nice leafy green. I actually had a little bit of pink in there, but that works too. And we'll put, hydrangeas have really big leaves, and they're like a teardrop. We're just going to put this in as a base coat for these leaves. We'll fill in that teardrop. And if you like the content that I'm bringing you, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications button. That'll help my channel, and that way I'll be able to bring you more videos. And also, if there's anything that you'd like to see me paint, if you'd like to know how to paint something specific, let me know, and I'll do a video on that. Okay, so we have the basic shape of the leaf. This is a typical hydrangea leaf. And we'll put more of a point on it later on. So then the next step is to take your green again, mix it with some white. And this is going to make a highlight for your leaves. Everything that you want to paint, that you want to look three-dimensional, you need to have three colors: your basic color, your shadow color, and your highlight color. So what I did is imagine a line down the center that would be for that center vein in the leaf. So I'm going to put it in so you don't have to imagine it, but it's going to go there. And you can put in a couple of little veins here and there. And there's your highlight. And you don't have to put the highlight on all of the veins in the leaves. So that looks pretty good. And then I like to put in another color that is from the painting itself. So I think we'll put in a little bit of the bluish lavender. This helps to tie the painting together, but just as part of your highlighting. It looks so pretty. I'll hold it up just to see if you can see it. Blue is pretty to do this with. Pink is pretty. And now I need just a little bit more white on top of that highlight so it shows up. As you can see, painting is a lot of layering. And you can see that leaf there. I hope you can see the detail. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in more leaves. We're going to put in another hydrangea. Probably a blue one. And some more leaves and another bud. So I am going to outline what we're going to do in. I'm just going to kind of sketch with my paint. I'm going to put in a blue hydrangea right about here. And that'll be the center, and the petals will fill it in and come off the center. And leaves. We'll put another leaf in here. We'll put in some small leaves. The small leaves, they're kind of like a teardrop, but they're pointed at each end. So the small leaves are going to come off a stem. And we'll do a better stem later, but I'm trying to position everything for you so you can see it. Another one of those small leaves will be here. And another small leaf will be here. And then in here we'll have a stem. And we'll do this all up better later, but I want to lay it out for you. And then on this side, we'll have, let's see, we'll have another leaf come like this. Coming that way. And another one coming this way. We'll have a bud come over here. And we'll do the 3 leaves again, the 3 small leaves. And you can have your leaves going in whatever direction you think looks good. And this is all about creating something that we think is beautiful. And everybody's beautiful is different. I love creating flowers. That's my thing. So this is going to be the basic layout. We'll put another bud here, maybe facing in. And as far as design goes, it's good to have some things facing in the design when you can, because that takes the eye around nicely around the design. And if you're doing a vine, you want some things going off to the right, some going to the left. That creates a very attractive vine. So I'm going to pause this for a minute, do some work, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I've been doing a lot of painting, just so the video isn't too long. And I've done everything the way I showed you to do the flowers and the leaves. And here it is. And here's the other side. Now I love doing these little squiggles, tendrils, because in nature you do see these little tendrils all the time. And they just add such a nice touch to the painting. And to do them, I'll put another one in to show you. You water down your paint, a very small brush, and you hold your brush straight up and down and you move it very slow. Let's see, where can I put one in? I have a little mark here, so I'm gonna put it right on there. Hold your brush straight up and down. Make a circle and you move very slow. And there we have another tendril. And you can go over it. You know, if it didn't come out dark enough, you can go over it. The last thing I'm going to do to this is I'm just going to add some little buds that are floating around. So it just adds a lot to it. I have a round brush. It's a size 0. And you're just going to do the same technique. We're going to put the paint in the purple. And then we're going to dip the tip in the white. And then we're just going to dab here and there as if there were some little floating petals. You can do some of them with 2 buds. You can do others with 3. And you can, you know, change up your colors. But it just adds a little something to it. And if there's not enough white on it, go back in and dab the white, because the white is what really brings it to life. You know, it's as if the wind came and kind of just took some petals off, just here and there. We're not going to put stems or leaves on these little buds, little flowerlets. And of course you can go back in and put a little bumblebee. I love bumblebees. You can do whatever you want with this. But this is the finished piece, and I'm going to tell you how I made the bag. And if you like what I'm bringing you in my videos, please remember to hit subscribe and notifications. It will help me out a great deal. And I thank you very much. I appreciate all of you watching. So I took like a foot, I'd say it's about 14 inches, but you can use whatever square piece of muslin. And then I bought different pieces of fabric, you know, like 1/8 of a yard at Joann's Fabric, colors that I liked. And I chose a color to make a border around the square at first, and you have to allow for a seam on each side. So you're probably going to need about this much width for this little strip here. Then I went and I made 4 of these side strips. You know, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. And I just cut rectangles. And I made the edges square. And I just sewed the pieces together in a long rectangle, haphazard. I didn't use any pattern or, you know, formula or anything. And then I sewed those strips onto the middle part. Then I actually put a strip of muslin in between the front and the back, just because the front and the back strips aren't gonna match up, so it would look funny unless there was a divider. And again, a strip of muslin about this wide. Then at the top I put a band of one of my colors, again wide, a couple inches wide, and I put it around the front and the back. And I did happen to line this. You don't have to, but I just created a solid, that's my newspaper from the inside. I created a solid inside to the bag to line it. It's really pretty. You could get fancy and put in a pocket and do all that. And I did the same piecing technique for the strap. Just very simple, no pattern. Just sew the pieces together till it's long enough, and then I sewed it on the inside. I could have done a little better with that. I could hide this. But there you have a beautiful little custom bag that would cost a lot of money to buy. And I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, goodbye everyone. Thank you.